It's me, Foollboy Games.
It's me, Peytonador, and that's all
And
of
it's
us.
The creepy kid who lives in Peyton's basement definitely isn't here. Crap. We also have another guest with us, too. A dog.
Let's go, Maya.
She's not going to do anything or say anything. She's just kind of here.
That's awesome. That's what dogs should do, actually.
But she's cute, though. Anyway.
I'm sure.
So, what are we going to talk about first?
Oh boy. Well, I don't think either of us have done anything interesting in the past 4 days.
I mean,
I existed.
that is a true,
That's unique.
very interesting, interesting sort of event. You existed.
You got there. You stumbled through it, but you made the touchdown.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
It's not like
Happy.
a kid with who's a
Have you ever had a
paraplegic trying
dream
to.
where you know that you
You
can
know
do
what
anything?
you? Yeah, I
All
have.
right. Happy 10 episodes, everybody. We've made it a long ways. 10 weeks
And
specifically.
it's been a while since we started this. More like 11, actually.
11 weeks? No.
Remember we did the
Oh,
test episode?
yeah, I guess the test episode, but that wasn't public, and that was
That
only
was it.
like 3 days before episode 1.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's been like 75 days, I guess. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I guess it's not official. Okay.
Alright.
Bro, we
We
can
got.
basically start making merch now.
We can start making what?
Merch now.
Go ahead. I mean, I'm sure there's millions of people who want to buy it.
A Steve the Fish plushie.
I might actually. Well, no, because we probably couldn't get a good one made, but one day. All right,
Perhaps one.
we have a couple of Robert themed activities today. And should we jump right into them?
Sure.
Why not?
All right. First up, I've got 12 crucial characters that we have created, and we're going to, you know, like a child with action figures, make them fight each other to the death and see who wins.
All right.
Does that sound great?
It does sound great.
All right. First up, and I'm glad we got you here for this. What's the one other guy that's in this call? What's his name? Did we ever name him?
No, you did not name me.
Andy.
Great. All right.
Perfect.
Round 1. Fight 1. Emperor Norton. Bought too much rice, went bankrupt, became homeless, declared himself Emperor of the United States, and received worldwide support. Versus that one other guy. Who is a bear.
Also known as
It's
Andy.
like, that's telepathic and lives in our basement.
I'd say the bear would win.
Yeah, that's
Emperor
that's the
Norton.
easy answer. I mean, bear versus human. In this picture though, he does have a sword, what it looks like. That complicates things.
Sounds like a complicates thing.
What picture are you looking at?
Of Emperor Norton. Google him. Yo, I guess we have the source right here. Mate, do you think you could take this old guy from the 1850s?
Yeah, probably.
I think that's all we needed to know. All right. Norton's gone.
And
All right. Here. Kent, the immortal son of England's founder, versus Dyson the human printer, who is a human printer.
where did that come from again? Didn't he come from IKEA? The IKEA episode?
He did come. Yes, Andrew witnessed the birth of both of these.
Yes, yes, I did. And
You
it
know,
was beautiful.
he identifies as a printer.
I mean, Kent's pretty hard to kill. You gotta take that into
Yeah, he
consideration.
survived like some of the worst tortures in history.
However, you get him near water, and he's bound to accidentally drown again. So I don't know, Dyson. Dyson
Bro, I
went
wouldn't be
down.
surprised if he was crucified next to Jesus. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that was a little far, man. This is a tough one. Does Dyson have any superpowers? Can he like sprite ink cartridges or whatever, or is he just like a boring
He
printer
can
man?
print pictures of
I
his
didn't
butt.
witness the creation of Dyson. I have no idea anything about Dyson.
No, you did. There's nothing to know about him. He's just a human
A
printer.
printer.
I don't remember this at all.
A man who identifies as a printer. It's you can understand the concept, right?
Yeah, I can understand the concept, but I do not remember this.
All right. Well, I think Dyson's out, right?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
All right.
The only thing that got copied were his funeral brochures. Oh yeah.
Oh, dang.
A little harsh.
Wow.
Huh.
All right. Peytonador, worldwide celebrity, survivor of a Tabasco incident, 5 foot long human wasp hybrid versus Lehorse, and I think the winner is clear.
Well, Le Horse can't die unless he's set on fire.
That's true. He's also has intense battle tactics. He was a general or
I mean,
something for the French.
Yeah, and also managed to capture England for like 2 days, or however long he managed to do it. I don't remember.
I don't remember. He did spontaneously combust.
That is true.
But I do say
Look.
Lehorse wins because
Yes.
I don't think I could set him on fire very quickly.
That combustion was a fluke.
Okay. You didn't mean to smoke. You didn't realize that hot air rises. Okay, and he's attached to the bottom of a thing.
Oh man. Okay. I think this next one should be pretty easy. Foollboy Games, one of the best gamers in the world. He's like a void god or whatever. I don't know. I've been just portraying him as a black hole this entire time. Versus Squawg Gaming, who took on a school bus with a pool noodle once.
There's also one of his other greatest attacks is embarrassing his sister and being annoying.
Yeah,
Truly.
I can vouch for that second one. It's funny enough that Andrew's been on here twice, and he has way more lore than you, and probably me as well. Just two episodes.
I
One
like to
episode
stay
was all it took,
mysterious.
to be fair. He really dominated
I
the
think
scene.
that because everybody at the church thinks I have a crush on his sister, he'd win because he'd embarrass me to death.
Oh, okay, that's an upset, actually.
That
You
was
reckon he could embarrass you to
completely
death?
random, but okay.
I bet he could. Isn't that right? Maya agrees. She shakes her head.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting
He's a
this.
ball. I was not expecting that. Yet again, I didn't really know what to expect.
I was expecting not to expect something, so I win. Okay.
Squad would own me with pool noodle, though.
The pool noodle master.
He's kind of like
Trained in the
Obi-Wan.
mountains.
He was trained in the mountains by a crazy pool lord named Jimmy.
Oh wow. That's
You
impressive.
just go like this. I've come to train with Master Jimmy.
He stayed in the mountains, training his pool noodle abilities for 7 years before he took on the
The
school
foothills
bus.
of the sun.
Did he win against the school bus, or what happened there?
I don't remember. The dude kind of left was so cool.
All right, let's move on to round 2. We got that one other guy who is still a bear versus 7th president and founder of the Democratic Party, Andrew Jackson.
See, Andrew Jackson would probably wear a lot of clothes to deflect his
His teeth? Or his
deflect that
mind?
one other guy's bear claw.
That is true.
Here's my
But he's a
style of thinking.
1700s guy. I'm a 20th century guy. I have
21st.
I don't know, though. I feel like Andrew Jackson would just show up with like a bulletproof vest and then just refuse to die.
Here's my line of thinking. As a telepath who understands people's, line of thinking, I feel like Andrew Jackson's just so crazy that if you went in within 30 feet of him, your brain would just melt instantly. So I
Yeah,
might have to hand
probably.
this one to Jackson.
All right.
Steve the Fish versus Layhorse. Battle of the Ages.
I think
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Not. It's Kent versus Steve the Fish.
I'd say Steve the Fish because all he has to do is drown him.
Oh yeah, they could fight in water, and then it's one of them's greatest domain and the other's weakest. And even on land, I mean, Steve the Fish did just defeat Joe
Take on the
Biden
Cool
in
Kid Club.
combat. Alright, yeah. Steve the Fish, clear winner there. Layhorse versus Ezra Miller. This one's the battle of the ages.
This still got my girlfriend. No, Maya.
He doesn't have my
I
parents
think-
anymore. I found out that they were just lost in the woods. So they're back now. I may have overreacted.
Yeah. I think that who is Ezra Miller fighting again?
Layhorse.
I think all Ezra Miller has to do is just run really fast and set horse on fire.
That is
Yes.
true. He does run really fast and then just set things on fire.
Right from the police too.
I think that's a pretty easy victory
Yeah.
for the menace.
It's a sad day for Le Horse.
Every day is a sad day for Lehorse. His existence
That
is pain. He's sewed to the bottom of a horse at birth.
not so just born
Yeah,
attached to the bottom of a horse. The
sewed by
horse was
It's very
needles.
born at the same time. He just was born and then just magically was attached to the bottom of a horse. I'm not
He
quite
is
sure
the
how it
chosen
works.
one. You must see it.
God has a sense of humor.
I'm not entirely sure how it works myself, but it just does.
Squog Gaming versus Joe the Biden. And this is presumably with his monster energy effects.
You see, Squog is a die-hard conservative. So I'm guessing all Squog has to do is just scream at him.
That did work in the case of Steve the Fish.
It did. But
Let's see.
he had help from Corn Pop.
That's true. I'll also add that, Joe Biden's sword grows in power the more corruption its owner holds, and that's only grown since 2018 when he fought with Steve the Fish. So he's increased in power.
Well, Squog also has a pool noodle, so
Yes, it's close. I think we're gonna hold it to a vote. I vote the Biden.
I also vote the Biden. I think he'd win.
oh, I guess it's true when he says if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So I go for the Biden.
Oh, wait, hold on. He's okay. Well, yeah, sure, you can be black.
This is 2022. I can be whatever I want.
This
I'm
show just
sorry.
increased in diversity points.
Let's go.
Now all we need to do is get a woman on here. I'm sorry, no
Yeah,
one's already coming.
one day.
But, still.
Oh, wow. Robert's actually very diverse. I mean, 25% of our guests have been gay, technically.
What?
What?
I mean, think about it.
25%? That's only a 4. We've only had like 5 guests.
We've had 4 guests. 25% of them are gay.
That's only 1. Which one is gay?
I don't know.
What you mean you don't know?
Surely
can't
you
just say
know.
that and then say you don't know.
It will be
Jeepus?
revealed in time. Jeebus is not gay, man. Come on. All right. Round 3. Andrew Jackson versus Steve the Fish.
Steve the Fish.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, Steve the
I would
Fish.
add, if we're, counting motivation in the kill, I bet Steve the Fish has a lot of respect for Andrew Jackson. That might make this tougher on him.
Yeah, he came to win.
Yes,
He also
that's
has
what
like 10 different
I would
siblings,
expect.
so
Yeah, if you take out Steve the Fish, Revenge of Steve comes in, and then it only gets harder for you. All right.
Steve 3, The Return of Steve.
No, Steve 3 is a Steve Strikes Back, but we're not gonna get into that rabbit hole again.
It was an amazing rabbit hole.
Truly, it was. Ezra Miller versus Joe the Biden.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
It's Ezra Miller. That's
Ezra Miller is just Joe Biden's too slow to even see him.
If he was walking at normal speed, Joe Biden still couldn't see him, man.
Yes.
That gives us our finalists then. Kind of fitting that the two most prolific characters in this show get this far. Steve the Fish versus Ezra Miller. All out. One winner. Who is it gonna be?
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
I'd have to go with Ezra Miller.
I'm thinking Steve the Fish.
I'm also thinking Steve the Fish. Because Steve has ranged attacks. And also... Okay, that might be a stretch. Never mind.
And also,
Ezra-
he's racist.
Wait, what race is Ezra Miller? If he's not
I
white,
think
we
he's
have a
like-
winner.
I think he's like Mexican.
Oh boy. That's not a good one.
At least he's like, I believe, some sort of of Hispanic descent.
How and why you knew that, I don't want to know.
I just think his looks.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, but he doesn't look Caucasian.
Okay, so his mother's Caucasian, but his dad is Jewish.
Well,
So yeah, we know. Yep, there he goes.
well,
Steve
truly.
the Fish, everyone. That's what we gotta do. We just gotta get Steve the Fish back until he'll rescue Penelope.
What if he finds out that Penelope's half Russian? I mean,
Wait, she's
he may be a Nazi and a part of the cool kids club, but he ain't no communist.
Oh.
He's a segregationist. There's a difference.
That's true. I didn't. Yeah, I guess that those are two opposite ideas. There you go, Steve the Fish,
Yeah.
everybody. Most powerful character in the universe, and he still doesn't stand up to Franklin the Great Blue Heron. Controversial opinion.
We'll see about
but it's
that.
true. It's true. All right.
All right.
Hmm.
So are
Should
we gonna
we
do the
do-
awards?
Should we do awards first or the episodes tier
Ah.
list? I'm thinking Nomont has to go to work in an hour. We better get him on now.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm thinking the awards.
All right,
Yeah.
let me send him a message through the multiverse. He's not a host,
No.
man.
What are you guys talking about?
The
Oh my
greatest
goodness.
cast member of
Is he
Robert
on his
is me.
phone, or does his mic just sound that bad?
No, I'm on my phone. This is perfect mic quality.
Why?
Amazing. I'm also on my phone, bro.
Yeah, but you don't have a personal computer that's over $1,000
Wow.
and a perfectly
Calling
good
me
mic.
out like that.
Yeah, you're not gonna grace us with a desktop appearance?
Nah.
Fine, I'll get going. Alright, best clip. The four nominees are Steve the Fish's first appearance. That's
And Steve the Fish. Steve won. Yeah.
Oh, Steve the Fish. Classic. S tier.
Yeah.
Just gonna keep ranking
Steve
things.
the Fish. Yes, Steve.
I love Steve.
Yeah.
Too bad he turned out to be a big racist.
Yeah. So we had to get his his brother Steve too. Revenge of Steve, you know.
Revenge of Steve. It's a classic. All right.
Full
You remember
class.
this, right? Right, Gramt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. It's iconic. It's almost for 20 seconds. Number 2 is Emperor Norton. Became homeless, going around on the streets. Until one day, he's fed up with everything, declares himself Emperor of the United States. And now the whole town knows about this guy, who just declared himself Emperor. And they go along with it. And his 8 minutes of legendary. It's a great story. I talk very slowly throughout it. It's painful to listen to. And no one's adding any commentary, so alright. That one other guy's first appearance. Yeah, if only we had someone in this chat who spoke Swedish. That would be a dream.
Only.
It's a dream. We can skip past this.
Just a thought. I'm sorry, what?
No, nobody liked this one. Okay, people
Shocking.
riot.
What you talking about?
In the street. That one other guy is obviously everyone's least favorite guest.
Talking
No
about,
one
bro.
likes him.
Bro, that one other guy, the dude who's tied up in your guys' basement's awesome.
We don't
Oh,
talk
really?
about him, okay? Moving on.
It's actually the least viewed video out of these 4. Only 5 views. The
Moving
most
on.
viewed video on the entire Robert channel is right after it. Ezra Miller keeps kidnapping everyone.
And Ezra
She
Miller
is pretty
took
cringy.
my girlfriend. But, you know.
he stole her.
Darn you!
So, ironically, our 2 finalists for most powerful Robert character, their introductions are in this list. But should we read off the winners?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We had one fifth party vote for my Amnesia episode, which doesn't count. I'm just saying that. So whoever voted that, you're wrong.
Wow. Throwing shade.
There was 6 votes in total for all of these, by the way. Just to clear that up. We had 1 vote for Ezra Miller keeps kidnapping everyone. Iconic. Can't blame you.
Is it though?
We had 4 votes for that one other guy's first appearance. Good job, man. Here's your award. Go continue appearing, I guess.
Okay.
Nice football.
What?
A nice football.
Did you just call him in a
Yes.
football?
It's a football? Man, no, your mic is so terrible.
You're welcome.
You disappear for 7 episodes and then you come back talking like this.
Bro, it's the funny mic. Come on now.
It's not. It's
It
not
is.
even that.
Funny.
It's not a funny mic.
It is
It's just.
kind of funny.
It's the funny mic.
It's not even.
It's the
Bro.
funny mic.
He comes in this channel sounding like a drunk guy
Oh,
From-
that's a good idea.
California. I think that he deserves to be
Where's my award?
get some respect. The nominees for the best story is Dungeons and Dragons Waterdeep campaign, The
That's a
DJ
good
Cabin,
one. Incredible.
Joe Biden versus Steve the Fish and Corn Pop, Foollboy versus Phil Swift,
Incredible.
and
Wait, don't say
the winner-
just yet.
all right,
I don't know what I was gonna say. Um. Okay, you know what? I don't have anything to say. Just go ahead.
Anyway,
Next
the
one.
winner is the DJ Cabin.
Let's go.
It is
Oh,
truly an amazing story of love, tragedy, humor, and just flat out complete
Betrayal.
randomness.
It is the
Do I
only.
get an
and
award? Do I get
betrayal.
like a money payment for guessing the right answer?
No, you don't.
You
get
get
all
a
the
nice
This is-
slap on the back
This is
and a
my
kiss from
award.
your mom.
Oh dang!
Let's do
I gotta say,
Or-
this is the only true one on here. It's the only notable true story we've ever told, and it's so
Hey,
it's incredible.
I've told a few real life stories.
You've told like 2. I guess the Bartholomew ones. Some of those were real.
Wait, is the DJ Cabin what I think it is?
What do you think
The
the
DJ
DJ cabin
cabin.
is?
The one where we were just had the speaker at the cabin?
No. No. That's... Yeah, no, that was a real life event. DJ Cabin, for those unaware, which I apparently have to tell these guys what it was. It's the story about my week at
Oh,
church camp, and it gets off the walls, man. There's this one kid named Gorgon who's just a real life comic relief character, and just does so weird stuff. DJ Khaled is involved heavily, specifically just his name.
I think we can
it's a
leave it at that, you know?
masterpiece.
I think that's
Another
all
one.
that needs to be said. We the best music, you know what I'm saying, but... Next
Yes.
question.
Alright.
Foollboy versus Phil Swift got
You
2
want-
votes, and Joe Biden versus Steve the Fish got 1 vote.
Alright. So, the best guessed one.
You can go ahead and say
Let's
this
see.
one too, I'd say.
The nominees for best guest is Nomont,
Let's
that
go.
one other guy, Jeebus, and Squog.
who's the winner?
I want to say one thing about each candidate before we say the winner. All right,
Alright.
Nomont, you're probably the worst person I've ever met. Get out of my face.
Thank you.
Jeebus,
I deserve it.
Jeebus, as he says, he was very helpful, very in the process. He came prepared with all of his gamer stories. He told them with such enthusiasm and awe. And the one thing he didn't do was, come completely without any idea or any ability to create ideas, and just talked about the paint on his wall for an hour before leaving just before the end. That would have been
Forgot about
a
that.
complete tragedy. And then, yeah, Toog and Squog are absolute forces of nature, man. When that one other guy talks, he derails every possible conversation. And Squog is just chaos and
He's
chaos.
just crazy.
Our goal is to never have these two on at the same time, or else the world will probably end as we know it. With that being
What's
said,
We'll have a dang fun time. That's for sure.
I don't know.
I don't trust
And then
whatever.
it'll end. And then it'll end.
Okay.
Everybody will have fun and be laughing, and then the world will end.
Dies of cringe. Alright. Do we have the winners? The winner?
You can say it.
Okay.
Who's the winner?
Da-na-na, drum roll, please. Perfect. Alright. We got 0 votes for Jeebus. Sorry, man. We got one vote
Sad
for
day.
Squog from Squog himself, presumably. Nomont actually got 2 votes.
Let's go. Wait, does it mean I didn't win?
That means you didn't win. That one other guy, you get your second award.
No, I'm leaving. This is
Congratulations.
dumb. Nah, screw this. I'm gone. Funny mic out.
Wait, he's gone?
Actually, this laugh.
That's awesome.
Much like Squawk, he disappeared too quickly.
Yes.
All right, the last nominee on this list, I'm gonna have to add a little bit of backstory behind.
Yeah.
This one was truly amazing. All right, do you want me to see out the nominees?
Sure, and you should probably explain them for Andrew and
Yes.
any potential audience members.
All right. So the nominees are Jeffington and Frank fight a bear drunk. Now, this story happened in
Self-explanatory.
Dungeons and Dragons,
Beautiful.
and yeah, apparently they got drunk and decided to fight a bear.
It wasn't just them. There was the 2 goblin lads too.
It was us fighting the bear to teach them a lesson, and then we ended up almost dying horrible deaths before they came in and saved us.
Truly an amazing story.
Definitely deserving of a nomination.
All right, the second nominee is Norton buys too much rice and goes bankrupt. I think we kind of already explained this one, and that is Emperor Norton of America bought too much rice and lost all his money.
Simple as that.
That's pretty much about it. All right,
Just
and
a
the
fun
third
concept,
nominee.
like, oh, I'm in shambles, but I need more rice, man. I need the rice. It's homeless.
All right, the next nominee is Gorgon Bombs the Talent Show. Now, during the DJ Cabin saga, Gorgon the Destroyer of IQ, the great villain that he is, joined a talent show and apparently thought that he was singing a DJ Khaled song, but apparently he wasn't. So he would shout DJ Khaled every day. And on the talent show, he did probably one of the worst covers of a non-DJ Khaled song ever. And apparently got the entire crowd to do a crowd wave, I think.
It was the
About it.
glorious finale of the saga, the main character arc. It
All right,
happened in
and
real life, which just makes it awesome.
all right, LaHorse's demise.
Oh, story. I love the horse.
He somehow just combusted after trying to smoke a Cuban cigar, not realizing how science works, and died.
Yeah, it was just after he conquered the entire nation of Britain and made the biggest bonfire in the world as well.
Yes.
Someone who's literally not immune to fire makes the biggest bonfire in history.
Cannot die
How
except
amazing.
for fire.
All right,
Who died of
and
fire?
the final nominee is Grant admitting to unwanted relations with a chicken. Now, if any of you watched last
Go
episode,
ahead and try to explain this one, man.
I made
I
a
dare
comment
you.
to which I said during, oh, I forgot, was it during a few years ago during
That one totally
or I think it was
obnoxious Minecraft server.
yeah, that one totally obnoxious Minecraft server, I admitted to committing a sexual crime against a chicken. Now, to be clear, I was in fact drunk at the time and high, so I thought I had just met my wife. Okay. So the relations with the chicken was a complete accident, and I apologize to all the chickens out there. Hashtag me too. Hashtag me too for poultry. Okay. Hashtag me too for poultry. My apologies.
Wow.
All right. Who's the winner?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Drum roll, please.
Let me go look at it. I'm kind of scared.
You should
No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And the winner is
the vote.
the winner is the poultry one. This is the one award I'm ashamed to even have.
I would not be ashamed.
That I think
Uh.
that received 50% of the vote.
Who all voted for? I want to know.
I don't know,
50% of the votes.
people said that was apparently the height of Robert, our greatest moment.
Yeah, Betty
There
Star
was
raping a
3
chicken?
people there that episode. I didn't vote for it. Did you vote for it?
I don't even remember the question. I don't even remember answering that question.
There was 2 votes for Lehorse's demise and 1 for Gorgon bombing the talent show.
I actually I do remember. I voted for Le Horse because it's Le
Of course you
Horse.
would.
Clearly, I bet Squog, Jeebas, and Nomon all voted for number 3. No, number 4,
Goon
sorry.
Squad.
Whatever. Alright. The best character nominees. The best character nominees are Steve the Fish, Gorgon the Destroyer of IQ, Ezra Miller, and Dyson the Human Printer. Clearly 3 of the most iconic characters that clearly deserve to be on this list.
And just heads up, one person wrote in Lehorse, and I'll give you one guess. One wild guess as to who did it.
Squog. I'm kidding, no. It was Andy over here.
Of course. He didn't win.
Alright, who's the winner?
Well, I shall send you the winner.
I hated the last one. Of course. Of course. Of course, I am always the best one here who comes with the greatest characters. My characters have a lot of lore and backstory to it, and nobody can deny it. And the winner is apparently Steve the Fish.
It's true. Not only is he the strongest, but he's the best written.
It's as if I planned him.
It is a little bit suspicious, I'll say, how the first time you mention Steve the Fish, you say Steve the Fish 1, as if you knew that there was going to be sequels to Steve the Fish.
I was just thinking of something funny. I was like, hey, bro, how about I just add this stupid fish into it? And that's how he was created.
I know. It spiraled out of control immediately.
You're the one who added the racism aspect. And I was like, okay. I guess he'll be a racist fish.
I did accidentally make you look like a little nuts there for a second.
Yeah, that was the winner. Is Steve the Fish.
Beautiful.
We got
Beautiful,
all,
truly.
It
The
almost
awards.
brings me to tears.
we got yeah, so I can't okay. Andy won best clip for his wonderful first appearance that was not planned, by the way. I got best story with the DJ cabin. I didn't make it up, so I only deserve half credit. Andy's also the best guest. And then Grant, inventor of Steve the Fish, and bane of chickens everywhere.
I wish that one. I regret saying that. That was stupid.
It was so out of character and just out of the blue because we were talking about like, oh yeah, we replaced his crops with diorite, we made a giant A, and then Grant goes just out of nowhere, kamikazes the conversation, nukes it, just drops that bombshell, and for the next 30 minutes, what were we get? How could we just not like let that go?
I just kind of said it while you two were having a conversation, and you both immediately just stopped.
I mean, how could you expect us to keep going after
Well, actually, I don't know.
that? Poor Penelope. First, she was
Truly.
kidnapped by Ezra Miller, and then that information goes public.
If she ever finds out I'm dead meat, I mean that
Ezra
chicken's
Miller
probably already
doesn't
dead meat.
give his prisoners access to television, otherwise it's game over.
Foollboy Games admitting to raping a chicken. Well, hi.
Oh man, what have we done with ourselves?
So Robert, taking control of us. All right.
They can't say we're virgins.
Fame has got into our heads.
Oh. It definitely has.
Even
and
the
it's-
poultry aren't safe.
That's not gonna go away anytime soon because it's time. We're doing a tier list of Robert episodes
All right.
now. Wait a second. Oh, I didn't. Wait, this needs to be
I
corrected.
feel.
I didn't.
I really don't know which one was which one was the IKEA episode?
The IKEA episode was episode 3.
That was the one that I was in.
Your first appearance.
One of the
Yeah,
two.
my first appearance. Let's do it.
Alright.
Episode 1.
No. Immediately alienating the audience. Let's do episode 0.
My gosh. The lowest tier.
I disagree. I think it's like A tier or B tier. It's one of the best, I think.
Nobody's ever seen it.
That's true. However, I mean, think of all the good stuff that came out of this. All right, Big Chungus
All the what?
BioShock Infinite combo. You get the political party tier list, the independent trucking company, Steve the Fish, Bernard Cribbins.
Rest in peace, Bernard.
You got Bartholomew and Delilah coming to light.
Now known as Squog.
Oh, I was wondering if Bartholomew was Squog.
Yeah, that's who Squog is. You can tell the stories add up.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, does Grant really have 2 annoying friends? Is that too much to ask for? I'm glad
Yeah, it's
we
just
both
one.
have one sister. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, alright. Somewhere between A and F. What's your expert opinion on this, Andrew, as someone who hasn't seen it?
Considering that Steve the Fish apparently made an encounter in this, I'd say it's an A or S.
I'd like to add something, and that is that your castle is the background for this episode. Does that buff it?
Oh yeah, it's S. It's S.
Alright, we'll settle for A tier.
I
Is
put it in the A tier.
It is the perfect episode.
We peaked.
We peaked when we weren't even trying to.
Alright, episode 1, tier list time.
The first like 2 episodes were sort of awkward.
Yeah, I'm saying
So-
episode 1's close to the bottom at least.
I guess we were sort of trying to learning what Robert was going to become.
And to be fair,
So
still
I
are,
guess
but this was worse.
it was a lot worse. I couldn't find anything to say, and now I'm talking about raping chickens. Okay, truly, I've made it a long way.
I'd say another big issue to this, and the reason I've since banned tier list episodes, is because only one of us can see the tier list, and that kind of makes you feel. It sounds like you're kind of bored. I reckon that takes a lot of fun out of tier list making.
That is true.
If you can't see it, and every once in a while, a name gets thrown out, and you're like, C, E. It's kind of like you're just assigning numbers to things instead of watching it build together.
I say this is a if there is I'd say this is a C tier episode. If there even is a C, if you're
C tier is middle of the road, though. I think we gotta do like E or F.
No, I think that obviously it wasn't the greatest, but obviously isn't the worst. Never mind, take that back. It probably is the worst.
I didn't get through it.
It probably is the worst episode. Just put it at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say D.
I'll settle for E, because I don't think none of the episodes are like truly deserving of like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm unleashing this on the internet. This is the worst content of all time. But it was not fun to watch.
It is truly a tragedy.
Episode 2,
Yeah.
which I think is an improvement. Great American Heroes.
I feel during episode 2 is when we sort of we were starting to really get to the randomness that would
Yeah.
sort of be what Robert is. The absolute insanity and randomness of Robert, which is implied by the name Robert because it's just the most random name in existence.
That's true. I didn't think about that. I'm not sure this episode's super crazy, bouncing off the wall. Next episode 3 is definitely that incarnate.
No, but I say that's sort of when we I guess I sort of figured out that hey, if I'm random, it'll make it a lot more funny, and it'll make it much more entertaining because scripted things aren't as entertaining. So
I see
if I
that.
sort of add a little bit of improv to it, it would make it just undoubtedly hilarious. Now, obviously, it's not amazing, but I feel as though we sort of learned that to create masterpieces that would follow. I'd say maybe C tier.
I think C is fair.
It wasn't horrible, but yet it wasn't amazing. It was average.
This is the episode where the Waterdeep got its characters introduced. Frank killed the guy and then died. No, Frank killed the guy and then died. I messed up my lore there, sorry. Episode 3.
Episode 3 is definitely the most,
IKEA.
I guess, sort of,
Swedes,
it's
dungeons.
most
Wonders.
ambitious one of the time.
It's one of the best. Maybe.
It is.
No, that's tough.
It's either B or A tier, that's for sure.
I thought that we weren't really going to get much out of it because none of you else had been to IKEA. And obviously, we still didn't get that much out of the
What are you
stories.
talking about?
I
Well,
have been
except
to an
you.
IKEA once, but I don't have IKEA.
I mean, it was only
stories
once, and
lined up.
it was only once, and it was by the Mall of America because we had nothing better to do that day.
Yo, bro, that's the one I went to when we recorded that episode.
Nice. Synergy.
I live about 30 minutes away from the Mall of America. Anyway,
Whoa, sorry.
I think that it's truly an episode deserving of sort of historical significance, recognition, as an episode where Robert finally sort of, I guess, became Robert.
It's our first Gaps.
The second one was like the
So
first
chaotic.
step into randomness, and then the third one we just kind of let loose and talk about human printers
Yeah, a complete dive
and licking things.
in the direction, and I think Andrew really solidified that as he just pops out of nowhere, starts taking Duolingo lessons on his phone. Apparently he's in the basement taking psychedelics so that he can read other people's minds. It's out there, it's crazy.
Fun
I'd
time.
say A tier.
Yeah.
It deserves that area. All right.
This one's 4, the greatest and
All right, which one-
superpowers.
This one was pretty funny. I'd have to say that. It was a little scripted, to be honest,
Yeah.
but it also really didn't have much to it because I really didn't know, I guess, sort of where to go with it. But it had its moments of hilariousness, and
Obviously, the introduction of Ezra Miller and Penelope, the gray and white.
were amazing.
Of course.
But I feel as though it's maybe a B tier episode. It really wasn't as groundbreaking as episode 3 was.
Yeah.
I'd go B or
It really
C.
didn't bring. It didn't bring the amount of insanity
Wait,
that the episode 3 did.
going over the subreddit though was hilarious. I'll say
That was a pretty funny moment. That was
And Andrew
hilarious.
lulls 50% of the time.
When you say Avengers assemble a ragtag gang of pigeons.
The symbols are handy. One of them is guaranteed to be blind. You cannot control them.
Truly, an amazing episode.
Reverse vampire. When you see sunlight, you turn into the
An
sun.
amazing moment.
No, when you see dust, you turn into the sun.
When you say bruh, it's bass boosted.
And the ground shakes.
Yeah, that was the best part of the episode, was the end.
Definitely. I'll go B tier. That made me.
It truly was hilarious. Which one did we put 3 in?
We put 3 in A tier.
Yeah, that one
Okay.
was A tier.
All right.
Episode 5, kinda halfway there if you don't count 0. The greatest movies of all time. This episode
See, this one.
wasn't a chaotic one until the end.
Yeah, I feel as though it was kind of just. It was fun and enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
but it really didn't have the craziness. But I feel it was sort of. I don't know really how to describe. I guess we sort of became less awkward by a lot, and we finally sort of got the hang of commentary. I don't say we got the hang of it, but we were much better at it.
The con
Yeah.
with unscripted, chaotic material is that you get super awkward moments where a joke doesn't land or no one knows what to say, so they just sit in silence for 10 minutes or 10 seconds.
It's true, but I feel as though the excitement of randomness and just the absolute craziness that can come from it has much more entertainment value than script.
I can see that. I think most of our greatest moments have been unscripted. Steve the Fish, Ezra Miller, obviously.
Yeah, seems like it.
However, I guess I don't know if it counts or not, but this episode marks the beginning of the DJ Cabin saga.
It does.
Yes, which
DJ Kevin was pretty odd. I'd say this episode probably a B tier episode.
I'd go A or B tier.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
He
I
doesn't
didn't-
know, so I guess B tier it is.
I might watch all of them all the way through. I'm just
That's
going off what you guys
completely
hear.
understandable. I haven't watched all of them all the way through. except for being in them. Episode 6, Terrifying Animal Encounters. It would be my least favorite one if it wasn't for the ending, which is the finale for the DJ cabin. And that's,
Which
that
time
was
your
awesome.
least favorite one? Yes, we kind of there was a massive misunderstanding to lead to the absolute craziness of this episode. But hey, that's just Robert, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess.
I feel as though the addedness of the misunderstanding and the craziness that ensued from it really sort of brought to light an amazing episode full of some of the funniest moments.
We're like directly split on this issue. I said, oh man, it was terrible. I didn't know what to say. I suck at improv. And you're like, oh yeah, that was some of our greatest material.
But hey, yes, you do somewhat suck at improv, but I think that just hearing you trying to come up with stuff really sort of gave it a sort of funnier, I guess, vibe to it.
Some kind of charm.
Yeah, charm, as in the
Yeah.
sense that you didn't know what you were doing, but at the same time, it just made it much more hilarious.
Yeah.
Here, you struggle to come up with stuff.
I mean, as much as I do dislike this episode, how much of this stuff made it onto the best stories list? The DJ cabin finale was in this episode. Phil Swift versus Foollboy was in this episode. And the precursor to Steve the Fish versus Joe Biden was in this episode. So it was quite influential. And also the image
It's set in stone.
of you just driving around the U.S. in a Lamborghini Aventador with your girlfriend
Yeah.
strapped to the roof. I mean, that's iconic.
Hey, Penelope was she gets things a little dirty, okay?
Gross woman. Get
Yeah.
your cooties off the
It
side.
wasn't the squog in like the trunk or something?
Yeah. You said it was Bartholomew, but with the new information I've now gained, yes, they're one and the same. Squog was in the trunk.
Yes. It was it was pretty funny. I'd say that's where some of our most iconic, I'm gonna say most iconic, but our most memorable, I guess, which is the same thing as iconic, stories came from. And it would set in stone some of the greatest stories that have ever been told in the history of entertainment.
This is where Robert became Robert.
I feel as though that was episode 3, but yeah.
No, it was episode 3, but wait, should we do B tier or A tier? No, B tier.
I think
I can't.
I
Get
think
over the
S tier.
fact that I did this stupid Goat Man story, where there was like
that was
5
hilarious.
minutes of build up, and then I didn't know how to end it, so I just I died or something.
That adds a much more charm to it. That is an S tier episode.
No, it doesn't. B tier is the highest I'll go for with that travesty.
I mean,
After this
Well, there.
episode, I don't know if we'll tell a single true story ever again, because
the history of England.
that is.
I think that was
next.
this episode, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
the next episode, episode 7, British history, but we made it all up.
You know, with the introduction of Dave Hart. Truly,
Yes.
truly amazing.
Dave Hart, Lay Horse.
Wasn't it Kent
That's-
or Trent or I don't remember. his
Kent.
name.
Yeah, Kent was in this one.
Also, a bunch of other random crap that we just threw in.
The giant.
What was the giant
Oh yeah, that
again?
it's on the moon. It formed the channel between Ireland and England, and then it went to the moon, and
Took a piss on the
peed or
moon.
something.
We're gonna pee on the moon. There's nothing you can do to stop us. Yeah, that was the joke. I feel as though that
tie-up.
we became Robert in episode 3, and in episode 7 was when the transformation was complete. Was when there was some truth in at least a few of the episodes, but then when episode 7 came around, we truly just became absolute insane maniacs, basically, and wrote the entire history for the most influential country probably ever. And
At least one
You know.
of
I
the
do
most
think
influential.
this you were right about like the improv a little bit, because I did write this whole thing down, and it really missed like the incredibly strange moments, like the bowler hat wars that Andrew just mentioned out of nowhere. Because I was just doing like a weird
Bowler hat
version
wars, I
of
forgot
the
about it.
actual history of Britain. It misses the tiny moments that are just insane like that.
The bowler hat wars over a giant bowler hat.
truly amazing.
And then it ended when Kent just took the bowler hat and then just sank into the ocean.
See you guys, just drowns. No survivors.
No survivors.
Alright, this has got to be a highly ranked episode. What are we thinking?
Yes. I'd say it's
S tier.
near A tier. There is no
S-tier?
S tier.
There's
Wait,
an
is there
S-tier.
actually?
Yes, nothing's made it into S tier yet.
The influence of I don't think it really had any influence though. It really didn't. It just kind of just sort of
No,
faded.
Layhorse has played a pretty big role in this episode.
It has, but I feel as though like this area of storytelling was already sort of created by me. I'm gonna take all the credit for that, by the way.
How dare
kidding.
you?
I'm kidding. It was sort of, I guess, sort of. It didn't really have the effect that episode 3 or episode 2 had, but it's still a good episode.
Yeah.
I think it had more of the effects of episode 2 and 3.
I'd say it was just sort of. I'd say it was episode 3, 2, and 6 combined into one episode into absolute randomness. I'd say that's what it was. And obviously, it had some very iconic characters that would make it, like Dave Hart, and
Yes.
LaHorse, and Kent, and also the giant that took a massive piss on the moon. But still, I don't think it really sort of. It really doesn't. It's. I don't really have, I guess, what to say. I guess I'll put it more towards. I guess. A tier, maybe. A or B.
Alright, we'll go A. I don't think we're gonna get an S tier. I think British history is my favorite Robert episode.
It was a pretty good one.
Yeah. I mean, it featured me, of course. That's why it's good.
That's a classic. You gotta have Andrew in an episode if you want it to be A tier. Both of your episodes have been A tier so far. Let's hope that streak continues.
Hey,
Episode
he's been
8.
around. He's been in some of the greatest.
He has. Would you
I've
rather?
caused some of the greatest.
Featuring half of it features Squog gaming.
I feel as though the first half of this episode was absolutely hilarious and just flat out chaotic. But after Squog left, I feel as though it just became sort of kind of awkward again.
Yes, because we were playing a game where there would have been a loser, but it only worked with an odd number of people. And so when there was just 2 of us, well, I guess we just throw would you rather questions back and forth. And yeah, the second half is not nearly as good. It's
I
the
think
beginning of
the
Steve
first
versus,
half.
Joe Biden.
I say the first half and the end were pretty good, but the first half and the third act were great, but the second half wasn't as good. So I would put this one because of that massive second half was like 20 minutes long or 30. Would probably fit in maybe the C tier. I'd put it. That's where I'd put it.
Yeah.
I'd say as soon as Squog left, the charm and the randomness just kind of died.
Yes, I feel like we gotta do more game episodes though. That was fun while it lasted.
It was really fun.
Episode 9, our best gaming stories.
This one was undoubtedly hilarious.
It wasn't.
This one was just This one was Jeeba staring at a wall, just watching paint dry. Me talking about breeding chickens and llamas, and playing with Ninja
implied.
was truly amazing. I think. I
Yeah.
think it deserves at least a B or A tier.
I disagree. I don't think anything quite became legendary, with the exception of the poultry moment. And everything featuring that was golden. But I don't know, this is some of my worst. Nothing was entertaining about what I did, pretty much.
I don't understand why all my randomness becomes famous.
Your greatest
It just
moments of
scares me.
randomness become famous. The less known ones cease to exist in our memories.
It scares me knowing that some of the most heinous things I've ever said are the most hilarious ones.
Admits to 2 horrible crimes in the same 4 words, and that's the takeaway from the episode. Those 4 words.
Yeah, it was fun, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Now, obviously, it's a newer episode, so it hasn't yet sort of become as, I guess,
Famous.
yeah, as it,
Yes.
as I think it might. If we had a lot more viewers, I think it would become. I think it would sort of
It would have
become
made a
iconic.
shockwave, that's for sure. With that
I feel as though I would have been
horrible-
canceled.
You might be. I mean, at least
Bro,
it was obvious.
the
that it
very
was a joke.
first- I think the third episode was when I would have been canceled, either that or the second.
What happened for political reasons? One of those first episodes would have gotten you, but for actual, acts of crime, this is it. This is the smoking gun.
But like you said, I think people would have understood it was just a joke. Like, who the heck would do that to a chicken? Plus, I was talking about a video game.
Who the
So-
heck would do
I
that
know,
to a chicken? You would do that to a chicken.
Apparently,
In a video game.
we still love you. It's okay, even if you've done horrible things.
It is, I think, a lot more attention would become quite memeable.
Yes, this is.
I think
also
most of our episodes have become quite memeable.
the second half of the Biden epic, which was okay.
I kind of feel as though your scripted moments are not as funny as your improv, because your improv is just awful, and you're a great story writer, and that scares me. But also you're horrible at improv, which doesn't scare me, and it makes it much more hilarious.
It's the two like yin yang. I got better scripted stuff, you got better improv. And then Andrew's just in the background waiting to say some crazy
Yeah, the dude's
stuff.
just kind of there.
Yes.
I mean, he is kind of locked in your basement.
I was looking back at
When will you let
episode
me out,
1,
Peyton?
I think yesterday, to collect some clips. and I say in that video that, like, Dumbledore's a perfect translation of Andrew because he'll just be in the background and you'll forget he's there. And then, boom, something insane happens. You all know what I meant by that now.
Sort
I
of
just have
makes
this
sense.
amazing ability to be so quiet people forget I exist. And then just come out of nowhere.
That's because we tie you up in the middle of the night.
That was going to be the joke in episode 3 until we kinda blew it by bringing him out early. Still funny.
It was your guys' fault. I wasn't gonna come out at that point. And then
Yeah, I
You
didn't
guys
want you
kept
to
on making
come
a-
out. I was
you
just
guys
gonna
kept on
hint
making
at
the
your
point of
existence.
it.
And then me and Nomont
So what
talking about
happened
Sweden.
is I thought this would make incredible foreshadowing if I say, if only we had someone here who spoke
Well, if you
Swedish,
hadn't
and
hung
then we'd
on to
move
it for
on.
literally like, if you hadn't hung on to it for literally a minute, I would have just sat in the background for a little longer.
I know, that's what I wanted you to do. I was trying to urge the others away by going, okay, this is all a dream. Let's move past this, please.
Well,
Move
you
past
failed.
this." I did fail, yeah. Because then True would be like,
My
that's your cue. You know. A little bit angering, but it was still fun.
my tactic for staying quiet for that long was I literally just muted my mic and watched YouTube.
Yeah. Were you actually eating chicken?
Do any else of you
I think
guys dream
I did
about
have some
wearing
food.
women's clothing and dancing around a campfire?
I think I did have some
Can't
food
say
before
I
that, but I
did.
don't think it was chicken. It might have been chicken, but I don't remember.
Psychedelic.
Though I was eating some food
I wouldn't
while
give me any chicken.
Alright, episode 9, is that a B tier?
What was episode 9?
Gaming stories. That's
Oh,
the one we have.
I'd say B tier.
yeah.
For the time being, at least.
So there we go. In F tier and S tier, we don't have anything. E tier or D tier is episode 1, tier list time. C tier, you got Would You Rather and America's Greatest Heroes 2 and 8. B tier, superpowers, movies, animal encounters, and gaming stories. And then A tier, you got episode 0, episode 3, and episode 7, which can pretty much only be described by their numbers.
Or absolute insanity.
Except the last one, that's British.
Absolute
Last-
lunacy. This is bowl hockey. Anyway.
These blokes gone mad. That was a terrible accent.
And then Harry Potter showed up. I agree with the list. I think it's pretty. That was a pretty
Accurate.
good list.
I think it's accurate.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe we'll come back in 10 to 12 episodes and update it. Louder, please. Snack on the chips louder.
I don't know if I can go louder. That's
You
a
have to
problem.
believe in yourself.
I'm gonna see my head. It's just as horrible without the headphones on.
How's that?
One of the grossest things I've heard in a while.
Glad I could be of assistance.
Thank you.
Yo, alright, are we back from break officially?
I guess.
Okay. That means that I think there's two options. Either I say we just steamroll over some of the most controversial questions of all time, or we reminisce on that Robert Guest schedule I made like 4 months ago. That is
I think
kind of
the
sort of
Robert
the
Guest-
foundation of Robert lore. Your choice.
I think the Robert Guest level would I think would be much more fun to go over.
Okay, Robert Guest's schedule for summer 2022. Week by week. First week in June, we got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnston, who, according to this, is a very famous actor, wrestler, and Fortnite character.
Wow, really?
Yes. At the age of 37, Dwayne's eyebrows became sentient and now possess an independent mind of their own. And he began a rap career last year with Face Off and God is Bigger Than the Boogeyman reprised for the VeggieTales soundtrack. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, by the time, Robert began, this date had already passed. We had Steven from Minecraft, everyone's favorite, the protagonist of the video game Minecraft Earth.
Truly amazing. Truly amazing.
Yes.
Adam Savage, the most dangerous man in the world, skilled in every art of man. In 2003, he overthrew the Iraqi government single-handedly. He currently runs a YouTube channel where he builds lightsabers, rifles, upgrades children's toys into weapons of mass destruction. That one was a fascinating interview, honestly. But not good enough for Robert standards.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
He seemed too intelligent. I mean, here in Robert, we really don't like
Threat to
intelligence.
society.
Yeah.
I'm skipping forward to July. This was the President's Month, so in honor of 4th of July, we'd have five presidents. 3 in the present who have already been president, and 2 in the future. So, first up is Barack Obama, 44th president.
He appeared in a few episodes, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to look up the dates for when the episodes were made and see if we actually get any of them spot on. Because that would be great.
Would be pretty funny.
He appeared in episode 6 and 9.
And when was that?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Episode 9 was just this week, so that was August.
Episode 6 was uploaded.
In July, I believe.
Wow, I'm fast. Oh my goodness, of course, it's the one episode that I forgot to put in the playlist. July 31st, it's an entire month off. That's tragic. Then we had Donald Trump. He succeeded Obama. He had, some big shoes to fill. Luckily.
Obama's like a size above Donald Trump in shoe size.
People weren't sure about this guy at first, but when he threatened to ban TikTok in 2020, people loved this guy. Everyone loved him. He remains one of the most popular presidents in U.S. history. And Americans were no doubt sad to see Donald leave in 2021. That's the description I had written. It's true. Trump somehow doesn't appear in more than Biden, even though he's like more in the. He hasn't appeared like at all.
Didn't I mention once?
I don't know. Did you?
There was this, this guy, his name was Donald Trump,
Great question.
You mentioned a lot of presidents in episode 6.
Which ones did I mention?
Definitely Obama. Definitely Biden. Unfortunately. Yes. And then, of course, we have Joe Mama, 46th president. Perfect candidate for the job. Oh, yes. I'm not going to read that description. That's too politically charged. But yes, one of the greatest men to ever lead the nation. That's what it says. And this was July 16th through 17th, so there's unfortunately still not accurate. Alright, into the future. Elections. Mark Rober for the 47th president. Breaks into the White House in late 2023. Wields the presidential sword while Joe's taking his evening nap. And he's the first president to have hair on the top of his head. Fun fact. It's canon. Speduncle 99 I chose for the 48th president. Real name Rupert. Incredible speedrunner. Mending
Truly amazing.
That's an inside reference. Dream Minecraft. Syrian extremist on the FBI's list of most wanted terrorists. His
Truly
exact
amazing.
identity is still unknown. Many theories abound. Michael Nomont, Alex Jones, Ted Bundy, etc. Terrifying name. Okay, here's the one that I think is kinda true. Alright. August 20th to 21st, this would have been episode 9. Peytonador 2. Not to be confused with the deceased politician Peytonador. That one's true. Technically.
Okay.
And then this week is the Keeper of Time.
So God himself?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a creepy...
Well, let's get the creator of the universe on the podcast.
Oh, he already is on the podcast, man.
Yeah.
Andrew's just been snacking on chips for the past 15 minutes.
It's truly
Can you guys hear that?
Hear what?
Oh, wow,
The chip?
that's super impressive.
Okay, I'm out of
Thank
chips
you,
now.
microphone.
I'm
My
out of
dog's
chips
gone
now.
into multiple barking fits.
Oh, I heard him.
Oh, dang. Alright,
Sorry.
never mind.
Maybe you should, close your door.
It's closed. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a
Put a
storm
match
above him,
in.
too.
Dog.
There is a floor between me and him, and you can still hear him crystal clear.
He's asking where his pain messages are. He's old.
He is. Oh my goodness. Maya, get him.
Maya's gone. He left.
Aw.
That's so sad. Oh my goodness.
She
Maya,
got
have her
bored.
Come down there. Okay, yeah, give me 1 second.
I'll also be back. I'm gonna go do something really quickly.
I'm just gonna smack that dog.
Alright, I'm back.
What'd you do?
Honestly, I kind of just had to, like, make sure he knew I was home.
Oh.
Because he knows he's not supposed to be barking so loud. But he probably does it because he thinks no one's home. But he is wrong. Alright, think of
I've
some
returned.
controversial questions. I'll start one off that I know is gonna stir the pot. Although maybe
I'm
we should
drinking,
wait
but
till Squog's here.
wait, he's coming?
No,
Oh, good.
I mean, okay.
I'm getting.
So thinking of controversial questions, there's one that that got brought up during episode 8 that we skipped over, but I don't know what to say. Do you remember which one I'm
Okay.
talking about?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I almost see. Do you think we should wait till Squog for an episode where Squog's guesting? Or do you think we should jump into the topic of anime now?
Ooh.
I think we should jump into the topic of anime.
Alright,
I'm just gonna say I'm
I
not
got my
qualified
knuckles
for
cracked.
this.
Now, Andrew, you get full volume up. You're part of this now, too.
Now,
I am
I'm
not
not
qualified for this conversation.
biggest
You've
anime
watched
fan in
Avatar,
the world.
that's enough qualification.
I've seen quite a few animes, but I think most of them suck.
Hello, future Peytonador here to say that if you think this argument is going to go literally anywhere, you are sadly mistaken. It was an absolute disaster, and neither of us got a single point across. So skip to this time if you want to not waste your time. If you want to see how this disaster unfolds, be my guest.
I've watched 1.2.
Avatar doesn't count. Just to clarify.
You just said
I
did.
watched 0.
Avatar does count.
It's useful for my argument, okay? It does not
Avatar
count
is
as an anime.
animated.
It's
It does
not
count as an anime. It is. It's American anime. Therefore, it's anime.
There's no such thing as American
It's
anime.
not. It's not really
Yeah,
American.
Avatar.
Though. That's the thing. It's not really American though.
It was made
It's
by
still
an
anime.
American studio.
So, but it could
Really,
be.
no. It was released by like Cartoon Network and crap, but it wasn't entirely made by America. At least
I believe
as
most
far
of
as
the
I remember.
artists. I believe most of the artists who drew the characters were from Japan.
But that's art. I guess that's part of the process. But
It's still anime.
it's an American television series, anime influenced. I'm sticking
It's
to
still
your-
anime though.
It's gotta
Just
be.
because
There's
it doesn't
two
come from
things.
Japan.
There is two
doesn't mean it's
things
not
that
anime.
qualify something as an anime, alright? It has to be animated and it has to be Japanese. Those are the only two
Hey,
things I ask.
are you being racist?
Yes. Wait, I'm the one who likes anime.
I mean, there are some good animes out there, but I think most of them are just absolute crap. I think some of them are just completely the same thing over and over again.
Let's start this out, okay? Which ones have you seen?
I've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've seen Naruto. I've seen Pokemon. I've seen Avatar. I've seen crap. I've seen quite a few episodes of Attack on Titan. Some
That's
from One
weird,
Punch
kinda.
Man. Some from crap. What was the other one? Crap.
The other
Yeah,
anime,
that's
of course.
that's all. I think I've also seen a little bit of Demon Slayer. Other than that,
Oh,
I
nice.
think they're some of them are okay. There's a few that are pretty good, but most of them I think suck. Most of them are just absolute trash.
Jeez. Okay.
Especially the school ones, which are quite sensual.
The school ones. Okay.
Most of them are sensual, to be honest with you.
That's more than I thought you'd have, but I can work with this.
As an
No,
entertainment.
I just only watch YouTube, and that is the only reason.
Same.
Yeah, I
A
can
year ago.
send this.
A year and 23 days ago. Okay. So, in my eyes, okay, there's two factors for what makes something an anime and what makes something not an anime. And I know we've already had a disagreement about that. Which makes me wonder, which of those two things are you saying is overrated?
What do you mean?
Either you're racist or you don't like animation. That's the way I'm seeing things.
I don't know.
Okay,
Which one do you think is overrated?
stupid path by me. None of them. I'm on the defense here.
An anime can be whatever. Like, I can make an anime.
Exactly. No, you can't.
Japan.
You could
Japan came up with a style.
You could go
But
to
that doesn't mean
Japan and make
an
an
anime.
anime, but you can't make one here in the U.S.
Of course I can. Just because Japan came up with a style, like, hey, if we're in America, we're multiple different cultures. And there's
It's
some
not
things we can
style.
It's like saying the
We
baguette was
come up with
invented in
America.
France, so it can only be made in France, buddy.
Like,
It's not a style of animation. It's a category.
but it's still the same concept. You can't. They might have created it. Like we Americans created a hamburger. I think. I don't remember where it's from.
Probably not.
But that doesn't mean other other people can't.
No,
I like
being Japanese is in the definition of.
I don't care what some stupid dictionary says. Who cares? Just because a book says it doesn't make it true, or some internet thing. Like if you're basing your entire argument off of something right off the internet, then this argument is already lost. I mean, anime is just animation. Like I could create an anime. Obviously, it isn't going to be anime as in the definition from the Webster Dictionary or whatever you're using to define an anime, such as Japanese. I have to be Japanese. Like that, then therefore, that's sort of segregationist if you ask me. Anybody can do anything they want, no matter the rules.
It's segregationalist to say that something
Like say
that
something
by
like that
definition is Japanese has to be Japanese
only by definition.
to be that thing.
Like let's just say this.
Definition is what we're arguing about here, man.
We're arguing about a definition. Well then, what's the point? If the definition says it, then what's the point of arguing with the definition? Then there's no reason to have an
Exactly.
argument. Well, then why start an argument in the first place? If you're arguing about a
I don't know
definition,
why
then
you
don't start.
started it.
You said you were on the defense here, so implying that there's an argument going to happen.
I mean,
Therefore, this argument is in fact useless and should have never begun in the first place if you're basing your entire defense on a definition that is mainly agreed on by everybody.
okay, that's not true. You look it up, it says Japanese style of animation. Not style
Yes,
of Japanese
Japanese style. That doesn't mean it has to be. Like, how should I say this? I could get Hawaiian tattoo. Yes, it's Hawaiian, but I could still do it. Am I Hawaiian? No. I mean, Hawaii is a part of the United States, as in the sense
of
history and culture.
Japanese animation.
Like, that doesn't mean I still can't do
a
it.
subset of Japanese animation.
Yeah. So a lot of
not
things are
a
subsets of
subset
everything.
of animation in general that Japan
But
just
yes,
happened to invent.
Yes, but then for that out, by that logic, should we not have cars? Cars were invented in Germany. It's just an idea some German dude came up with. Therefore, we should get rid of it because we obviously didn't invent it, so we can't use it.
If someone invented a word for cars that were made in Germany, you wouldn't be able to make a car in the US and use that word for it, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. And I can make an anime. I can do it in the style of Japanese.
You could make an animated show. You couldn't make an anime.
An anime isn't a specific brand. It's just a generalization of a bunch of different things.
It's the way
It's not a
Japan.
It's pretty much a generalization.
Japan drew these characters. Obviously, they invented the style, but that doesn't mean other people can't use it. Like this mouse I'm using right now, other people invented this. That doesn't mean I can't use it. Like I can use whatever the heck I want to use just because some other culture people invented it.
So it's like saying two different types of keyboards aren't keyboards because one was invented before the other.
What are you guys not hearing though?
Jess, we're hearing you. You're saying other people can't do anime because we're not Japanese. Well, how do you know about my family history? I could have some Japanese in me, or if I did it.
No, it
it'd
has
be
to originate
anime.
from Japan. The first sentence for
Yeah,
the anime article on Wikipedia is anime is a
Oh,
drawn and
Wikipedia.
computer-generated animation originating from Japan.
So let me get this straight. You're using a liberal website to make an argument here, especially a very inaccurate website, especially Wikipedia.
Of course,
This argument.
Wikipedia has an agenda against you.
No, it's
Yeah, we
inaccurate.
gotta spread the agenda. Make sure it says that anime has to originate from Japan.
What I'm saying is, you're not only are you using a website that's run by people who don't know what the heck they're doing half the time, and
Okay, yeah,
also
you're
people
more credible than...
pretty much who can edit anything. Like, and all you have to do is make an account and edit anything. Just because you look it up on the internet and it's by definition off of Wikipedia does not make any sense. Like I can use that argument for anything. I could go find a book in a random area, and if it has a definition of something, I could use that against you. It doesn't necessarily make it true. It's in a book. It's on one website, and it's also in one book. Like I could go to any philosophy book out there, read it, find a true definition, tell it to you, or I guess not, but an idea. I guess philosophy is an idea, not a definition, and tell it to you. That doesn't make it true. Just because it's in a definition doesn't make it true. Anybody can change whatever they want. That's what I've learned these past few years is anybody can change any word they want. Like, so what if it's in a definition? But that's probably not all definitions.
But words have meanings.
Yes, words do have meanings.
Yes.
Words
And those
have whatever
meanings
meaning
are
you
called
give them.
definitions. How have we gotten this
But
far off
yet
track?
again, anime isn't just
Words
one.
have whatever meaning you give them. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. Have you seen the English language recently? Obviously not.
Words
The English
are given meanings, definitions, and the definition of anime
off of Wikipedia.
is animation produced in Japan.
No. Anybody can do anything. Doesn't have to be produced from a single country. Like anybody can make. I
You
heard
can make animation, you can't make anime.
I heard a Wiener Schnitzel or Wiener whatever you want to call it. They're produced in Japan.
Merriam-Webster originated
it's
in
a-
Japan.
See, I was
Did you just say originating in Japan? As
I mean, that implies it was invented there. That doesn't necessarily say it has to be there. Like,
No,
let's go back to my
it's
other.
not saying
a Wiener
a
Schnitzel.
style originating in Japan. It's saying
A Wiener
a
Schnitzel.
word.
How would I say this? A Wiener Schnitzel is they're made in Germany, but that doesn't mean I can't make them. I could make anime. Doesn't matter what a definition says. I could draw in the style of animation. I could speak in Japanese.
We
It,
can't agree on the definition. This is going nowhere. Grant's arguing that
this is going
definitions don't even
somewhere.
exist.
No, that's not what I said. I said you're using Wikipedia. Obviously, you just used the Webster Dictionary, but both of those sources can't really be trusted, knowing who they're both run by. So it's
And
kind of hard to
you're
trust.
completely trustworthy.
Of course, I am. Trust me. I've made all the stories I've told in this podcast are all 100% factual, except a few
All-
We
exceptions.
can agree on
All
that.
all I'm saying is words can mean whatever you want them to mean.
That's not true,
It
though.
does not matter what the
Well,
definition is.
obviously-
Words can mean whatever you want them to mean.
Obviously, that's not in a way true.
That's
But-
not true.
It kind of is, especially in modern days. We kind of seem to change the definition of words
Unfortunately.
for you and kind of ruin it. But yet again, still, no matter what a definition says, anybody can do anything. Anybody can make anime. Anybody can make a car. Anybody can make a Venus neutral. Anybody can do anything, no matter race, culture, anything. It's just, now that sounds a little liberal, but it's true. Anybody can do anything they want to do. Obviously, do you have to agree with that? No. I can make anime.
No, they can't.
I don't. I can do what the heck I want to do. It doesn't matter where I live, where I'm from. I can do
Can't
anything.
draw something on a piece of paper and say, this is Venus, this is a planet.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, as in a sense, I can do it in the style of Japanese. Obviously, I'm talking about doing it accurately. I can write in Japanese. I can do anime and call it anime. It doesn't have to be from Japan.
You can call
I
it
can-
that, but that doesn't mean it fits the definition, which
Well,
is apparently controversial.
all I'm saying is that obviously there are certain things of a definition that are true, like gender. I'm not going to say that. It's heated debate. Talk about most things out there, especially by definition, are true. But there are some things out there that are so ridiculously stupid that their definition doesn't even matter. And in this case, anime being as stupid and dumb as it is, doesn't really matter because it's a piece of entertainment. Who really cares? Anybody can make a piece of entertainment, no matter where they're from. So
But they can't make. I couldn't make like a Swiss piece of entertainment. I
You
make a
could, you-
Swiss
you-
inspired piece of entertainment, but I'm not Swiss.
Get a
I don't live
Swiss
in
actor.
Switzerland.
you could get a bunch of Swiss actors. Now, obviously, will it be, I guess, fully Swiss? No, the director's going to be American. But obviously, you could still make it.
It's made
Now, by
in the US
definition,
by an American
now by
dude. It's not Swiss
now obviously,
entertainment anymore. It's
what if
Swiss
you're using a
inspired
Swiss company?
entertainment.
what if you're doing using a Swiss company? Then would it be Swiss?
It would definitely be closer. Yeah, I'd probably say that's Swiss entertainment. If we had a word
Yeah.
for Swiss entertainment, like Swice, I guess.
What? How does this?
And, like write a book and then say this is
What?
Swiss because I inspired it off of some Swedish dude. No, Swiss dude.
What is hush it. What are the Mad Max movies Australian or are they American?
I got no idea. I'd guess American.
Mad Max? No, it's Australian. And
Yeah,
starring
Mad
in
Max movies.
Mad Max is
Australian.
starring in it's starring an American actor. The dude was born in America and he lived in Australia. I mean, it still makes it a piece of Australian entertainment because he lived in Australia. It was made by people in Australia. It was produced by an Australian company. And America bought rights to it and
Sweet
produced it
God.
here. It doesn't make it not a piece of Australian. Like, it's still an Australian piece of entertainment. Just
Yes.
because it was, I guess, sort of shown here in America doesn't make it not.
There have been anime distributed by like Disney Plus,
Yeah.
but they're made by Japanese people.
So
Japanese
was Avatar. Avatar was most people who worked on it were Japanese, but apparently according to you, that doesn't make it a Japanese music film. It's produced by an American company. So
There's
just
a
because of
debate
another
to be
country,
had there, but I think generally it's considered to be not Japanese.
it's actually, I guess, sort of a mixture. If you were to go by it, but no.
Okay,
All right, what's the next thing?
that took a while. Okay.
It did.
We
Kinda-
made
was it-
0% progress too, because we got tripped up by like the first clarification.
It was quite.
It took 20 minutes. Like, all right, is anime good or overrated? All right,
Anime is
clarification
overrated.
Number 1, what is anime? 20 minutes later, and we just agreed
Question
to
number one is anime
disagree.
is overrated. I'm also going to add something. Anime is overrated. All right, anyway, we can continue.
Okay, I disagree still, but
It's
oh boy.
some of them are good, others suck. Most of them suck.
In my opinion, that's like watching a couple of Disney movies and then saying, yeah, Disney's overrated because I watched like Little Mermaid and Finding Nemo. Even though your selection
I
better than
understand
that.
there are probably other great animes out there, but for the majority of them, they're kind of all the same. Some of them have the same plot. Some of them are just weird. Others are just completely out of the blue, and some of it's just flat out horrible. The only animes that are
Yeah.
really extremely
I'd
famous
say
are
the
the
same
only
for
are the
Western media.
That is true. We do have some pretty great films, I'd say,
Yes.
and great albums,
Same.
but most of the great albums came from Britain, in my
Japan.
opinion. Actually, I think I have more American albums than British. Anyway, we're not going to go there.
Alright.
Well, at least hopefully.
Number 2, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. Wait, this is actually a pretty hard one because they're both
Yes.
a hot dog could in fact actually be a sandwich.
I don't know, it depends on what you do with the
Yes.
bun. If you split it at the bottom accidentally, then it's a sandwich. Just by
I
default.
guess it does.
I go yes on this question.
It's kind of a sideways hoagie, if you know what I'm talking about, or like an upside down one, whatever you want to call it.
It
Or
as
some
soon
people
as
eat them a right way hoagie.
as soon as you split the bottom of the bun accidentally, there is no question it is absolutely sandwich. Like you
That's-
can't
I
even
do
argue
agree.
against it. It's literally
What-
between two pieces of bread.
But as
When it does
when the
become
bread is a
two
whole,
pieces of bread,
what's your opinion?
I'd say it's kind of in
Hoagie.
that pseudo realm of, I guess, kinda a sandwich, but
Yeah,
so hoagie.
it's
yeah.
a bit lacking in the sandwich department. I mean, it's
Well,
just one
actually, yeah,
piece of
there are
meat.
the sandwiches. There are the sandwiches that are one piece of bread, just split down the middle, like what you get at Subway.
Called
So yeah,
hoagies.
it's a sandwich, just smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And you are pretty much getting all the meats, so it's good for you.
Here's a step up from that question. Is pizza an open-faced sandwich?
I have never
Mhm.
heard this one before.
It's not between two pieces of bread, though. It's on one piece of bread.
Well, he said an open-faced sandwich.
Open-faced sandwiches are ingredients on one piece of bread, which they probably should have come up with their own word for. But
'Cause
they
sandwich
call
is-
them open-faced.
By definition, two pieces of bread. Pizza is just stuff on top of one
Well, he's
massive
saying
piece of
an
bread.
open-faced
An open
sandwich, so that means the sandwich is opened up, like how your Subway sandwiches are made before.
Yeah, it's not a sandwich in any way, though.
Yeah, they
I mean,
should
obviously-
come up with a completely different word for this, as in like
Calling
ingredients
it
on a
an
piece of
open
bread.
faced
But they went
sandwich
with
would
open-faced sandwich. I guess tartine would be the one new word. A slice of
I think
bread
something-
with one or more food items on top.
I'd say it depends on what kind of ingredients are on the pizza and like how you made the pizza sense. I don't know. I feel like
I
it's also
would
like
go
not even at all
yes
the right type
again.
of bread. It's not even at all the right type of bread. Like it's completely flat bread.
You've never had a flatbread sandwich?
Those are gross.
They are gross, yes.
Especially with the wheat bread.
I'd go yes, but I'm glad that we consider pizza to be generally a different category, even if by definition it is an
Calling it an open
sandwich, I think.
face sandwich is very confusing because it's not a sandwich.
I mean, you can fold it up and then
It's
make
not.
it pretty much. No, I'd say that make it more like a taco, because
Ooh,
a
are
sandwich
tacos
is more
sandwiches?
because uh tacos use a more round shape like a tortilla. Sandwiches use more square shaped bread. So I'd say it's actually like an open quesadilla.
Interesting. I'd also put quesadillas, burritos, tacos in that category of
No.
sandwich.
No, I wouldn't.
All right. Yeah, once you declare a hot dog a sandwich, Pandora's what's it called? Pandora's chest kind of opens up and like, oh well,
Box.
all of these
Pandora's
other
box.
things are therefore also sandwiches. Pretty soon, half of everything we eat's a sandwich, and it's hell on earth.
I mean, yeah, bread.
All right, what's the next question?
We're over the 2-hour mark, actually.
I don't care.
Could do
I don't
one
know
more
what the
unless you guys want to end it.
Next question. Give it to me.
Okay. Oh boy. Is the ocean a soup? This one's a classic.
I think a soup would imply that it's
Meant to be eaten.
meant to be eaten. Ocean water
It
ain't meant to
doesn't
be.
have a broth. It doesn't have a broth or anything.
Yeah, it ain't meant to be drank. Ocean water is not meant for humans. It is quite gross, actually.
It's not. It doesn't have broth in it. It isn't actually cooked.
So no, it's not a soup.
No.
Yeah.
If,
No, that's
if it was
unanimously.
if it was
The ocean is not a
if
soup.
if it was just a giant broth ocean and it was cooked, then maybe, but it's not.
What is cooked by like lava deposits or whatever the ocean science words are?
I mean, cooked as in the sense that it's cooked to the point where it's edible. Okay.
I mean, it's edible. We can't argue that.
I mean, yeah, it is edible, but soup is something that's kind of good for you. Like chicken noodle soup, it's pretty good for you when you're sick. Same thing with tomato soup.
That the line that makes me think absolutely not, the ocean's not a soup, is that soups are food. They're created to be eaten, and the ocean was not created to be eaten.
My thinking is it doesn't have like a broth or anything.
Yes.
All right, next question.
Okay, let's do one more. Anyone got any ideas?
The only question that I can think of, I have a definitive answer for, and that is water wet? My answer for that is no. Water is water. Water is not wet. Water is water.
Water is not wet. I 100% agree with you on that.
Water is not wet. Water is water. It's as simple as that.
Water cannot be saturated in water because that doesn't make sense.
Is the dark side of the moon better than Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? Probably heard neither one of these. Yes.
I didn't understand the question.
Is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon better than the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band?
Oh, I haven't listened to either, so I don't know.
They're both considered to be two of the greatest albums ever, and they're both usually put in number one spot. I mean,
I have no idea which one's better.
The Beatles are overrated as heck. Like, they were only popular because of their, I guess, looks. Like most entertainment acts back then, only people really cared about them because they were handsome or pretty.
They were good at being celebrities.
Yeah. While Pink Floyd I bet you Pink Floyd being one of the most famous bands ever, and hardly anybody can name even one member besides like one.
I
Yeah.
I don't
Name
know.
one member from Pink Floyd.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
Nope.
I couldn't tell you what
In
it looked like either.
list one album cover from Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon. Oh, well, yeah, album cover. Obviously, you got the Rainbow Prism.
Rainbow Prism, Wish You Were Here, which is if you saw it, you'd probably recognize it. The Wall is also extremely famous. Unlike the Beatles, who are only famous because they were good looking, Pink Floyd hardly ever showed their faces. Even on stage, they always hid underneath their light show, and they've rarely ever put their faces on their album covers. That's just my Pink Floyd's better than the Beatles. That's just flat out right. Okay.
That was a solid
Nobody.
argument. I'm convinced.
Yeah, thank you. Really, a question we could all answer. Also, the music on Dark Side of the Moon is much better than the music on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, which is drug filled as heck. You can tell it too.
As in, like, written by people on drugs?
No, as in the sense that it's very 60s like. As you can tell, the peace and love, bro, was there. Which while Dark Side of the Moon was sort of its completely own thing that was sort of inspired by its cultural environment, but at the same time was something completely new and would change the entire course of music forever. Okay.
Interesting. Well, is it outro time?
I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Peytonador.
I'm Foollboy Games.
I'm just that one guy.
Again.
All right, thank you for all listening to this 2 hour and like 5 minute episode, maybe 6 minute, however long it is. You can catch our episodes on Anchor and Spotify, but mainly our episodes are uploaded. The edited versions are, at least without all the crap that you usually don't want to hear, are all up on YouTube, and you could listen to them anytime, I guess. So thank you for listening. This has been Robert. Thank you. This has been Robert the Podcast, and I guess bye.
Adios.
Can't wait to film another 10 more.